Oh, hello, hi, how are you doing? It's lovely to see you. So there's this thing I like to do, and it's called doomscrolling. Ta-da! It's this one thing that, I don't know, for some reason it's so fun to do, just to endless scroll through social media and to look at all of the terrible things that's happening in the world. It's not a good thing. It's a really, really bad thing because our minds, unfortunately, just like the rest of our bodies, works on this principle of garbage in, garbage out. What you put in is what you're going to get out. And if you put in a lot of negativity, a lot of things that make you anxious, a lot of things that generally just stirs up unhappiness in yourself, well, then you're going to be an unhappy person. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to have a good time. And if you're not having a good time, then I'm sorry, but it's not great. So, first of all, we need to understand how social media works. And by that I mean, you need to understand that social media has been created to be as addicting as possible. It has been created in such a way that you are unable to put it down. If you look at it, it has this endless scroll thing that can go on. You can scroll down and down and down, and every time there's more information, more media, more content that is available for you to consume. And that is exactly how they keep you hooked. By creating this endless stream of content, they're basically slow drip feeding you a bunch of pleasurable sensations every time you scroll and you see something that you like. It's that dopamine hit. And that is why social media can be so dangerous, because it is so incredibly addicting. When you scroll and you see something that you don't like, so you keep on scrolling, and then all of a sudden, oh my goodness, something amazing is happening on my screen. And for that few seconds, it's incredible, and you get that dopamine hit, and you just want to chase that. You want to chase that feeling. You want to chase it again. You want to get it. And you keep on going, and you keep on going, and boom, there it is again, another dopamine hit. And that is how they keep you hooked. Social media has been engineered to be as addicting as possible. So what does this have to do with anything? Why am I bringing this up? Well, the other thing that's really addicting and that people really like is negative news. Things that are not necessarily as positive as they should be. When you look at news headlines, you see things that usually, the negative things are always on the front page. You never see local kitten gets saved from well on the news, but you do see war, you do see economic crash, you see everything that kind of gives me anxiety to think about. And that is with a purpose, that is for a reason, because those negative things sell. Those negative things get clicks. You go in your brain, when there's something positive on your screen and something negative, we are much likely to go, let me click on that negative thing, because it's eye-catching, it's interesting, it has a sense of urgency. Something positive doesn't necessarily convey the major sense of urgency, and we go, okay, it's fine, I'll read that later, let me first read the thing that's really, really urgent. And it's kind of sad, but news media, or just social media in general, has kind of capitalized on this fact that we as humans are more prone to click on negative things. So now let's bring these two things together. The addicting side of social media and the clickability of something that is overwhelmingly negative. And you get a cocktail for disaster. And what do I mean by that? I don't mean necessarily it's world ending, but I do mean that it's going to be a ton of negative things that you're going to put into your mind, that you're going to force into your psyche. It's going to give you anxiety, it's going to give you negativity, it's going to just bring a lot of negative energy into your minds, negative thoughts. And unfortunately, we as humans do this thing that we process these negative things, and often we don't know how. So it results in anxiety, in a form of depression, in negative thoughts. It has a very big impact and a very real impact on how we live our daily lives. Even if we even when we say we are not really affected by it, we actually are. So this brings me to doom scrolling. That one thing that we have all done before. If you say you haven't, you're probably a liar, because I can think of countless times that I have doom scrolled endlessly through the night, just going from negative story to negative story to negative story to negative opinion, because those are clickable, because those attract your attention. They demand your attention with a sense of urgency, even if that urgency is kind of fake. So, when you sit there and you scroll or sit or lay down or stand, I don't know where you're using your phone or your social media app or whatever, but when you do this and you keep on scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and seeing all of these negative things, what you are effectively doing is you are saturating your mind with negative thoughts, with negative news, with things that have a negative impact on your psyche. Because like I said, we as humans, we are garbage in, garbage out. We are usually the product of what we put in. What you put in is essentially what you're going to get out, because our minds also work on a type of fuel, and that fuel is very often the thoughts, that we put in there, or the messages that we put in. If you put in an overwhelmingly negative message, it is a very real risk that you might become more negative. You might become more pessimistic. You might become a lot more skeptical, and the magic in the world just disappears. The joy in the world just disappears. Doom scrolling does this very real thing where we feel like nothing matters anymore because everything is so overwhelmingly negative. And I've been there, I've seen it, I've experienced it firsthand. I've had such incredible anxiety because of my, well, let's frankly call it negative doom scrolling habits. And it's not worth it. It really isn't, because it messes up your day, it messes up the way that you're thinking, it messes up even relationships sometimes, because people want you to be happy. And it's not necessarily great to be around somebody that's constantly negative. And I'm not saying that's your problem or that's something that's bad, but it is unfortunately just the way that it is. People gravitate towards positive people because they're nice and light to be around and fun to be around. Whereas if we're constantly negative and constantly in a downward spiral, we unfortunately put ourselves in a position where people don't necessarily want to be around us all the time. But how can I stop this? How can I stop doom scrolling? Because it is so addicting. You literally just said that these applications have been engineered to be as addicting as possible, and negative things are so clickable. Well, you have to start with putting yourself in a position where you remove those negative things from your social media experience. That's going to mean cleansing your social media from these negative accounts. For me, it was to get rid of news accounts, because goodness gracious, the news has a terrible impact on me. I don't even read it anymore. And I used to be one of those people that went, I would rather want to be in the know! But at the end of the day, it just had such a negative impact on my psyche. So I unsubscribed, unfollowed, or whatever, all of the news organizations and everybody that kept on going into politics and all of those things. I cut them out of my life because I don't need that incredible negativity. I don't need it. And I'm now actively looking for positive news sources, positive accounts to follow. People that want to spread the positive in the world. Oh, this economic crisis has come to an end. Let's celebrate it. Or this war has come to an end and the peace treaty has been signed. Yay! Follow accounts that kind of want to focus on positivity. But I think beyond that also, you need to also control your social media habits. And for me, this was a big one. Because I used to spend a lot of time on social media. Really, really I did. Endless amount. And it's not healthy, because at the end of the day, your world shifts into the palm of your hand, and that's not how it's supposed to be. The world is out there. The world is around us. We need to go and experience things. We can't just be trapped in our phone the whole time. So what I'm trying to say is you need to limit your social media activity per day. Let's say start off by making it an hour a day, then 45 minutes, then 30 minutes. Make sure that you limit it and make sure that you sanitize it. Make sure that you don't spend time on things that are negative. So let's put an actionable list. Number 1, limit the amount of time that you spend on social media. When there's a limited amount of time that you're going to spend on social media, you're not necessarily going to want to spend time on all of these doom scrolling things, on all of these endless negative articles or opinions and things like that, because you have a limited amount of time in it. You want to see what your friends are up to. You want to see what that one streamer that you're following is up to. You want to see a great art, things like that. So limit the amount of time that you spend on social media. Your psyche will thank you. Number 2, be sure to follow positive and inspiring accounts. This one is a little bit more tricky because I used to be a person that actually used to think that positive things are quite cringe. And the more I've just surrounded myself with positive things, the better they became. And the more I realized, wow, I want to see this positive, like motivational things. I want to experience them because they make me feel good. And in the beginning, it's not going to like feel good immediately. You're going to watch this and go, oh, this is cringe. But the more you watch them and the more you kind of put it into your mind, into your psyche, into your way of thinking, the more you're going to enjoy those type of things. Because guess what? You as a person are an evolving being. Your tastes change over times. And many times you have control over your tastes. I know it sounds ridiculous because a lot of people go, oh, I don't have any control over the things that I like in terms of family. No, actually, you can kind of brainwash yourself into liking things. As if, for an example, I didn't like avos. I don't like them. Avocados were gross for me, but I had this problem with cholesterol, or still have this problem with cholesterol, and it turns out I really need avos because they've got good fats in them and all of these things that are really good for cholesterol. So I've slowly started introducing them into my diet, and now I actually quite like them. Shh, don't tell anybody that. That's a secret. But what I'm trying to say is, just like that, just like how you can kind of motivate yourself to start liking different things, you can also start motivating yourself to start liking more positive things. Number 3, sanitize your account. Make sure that you are removing negative impacts and influences. And then number 4, the big old one, self-control. Make sure that you exercise self-control. And self-control is not something that, like, the first time you're going to get it right. It's unfortunately something that you have to build up over time. It's unfortunately something that becomes better with practice and with exercise. Self-control to not doom scroll. When you find yourself scrolling endlessly and it's all negative things, you need to stop it. You need to put down your phone. You need to maybe watch a nice cat video. I really like cat videos. I think they're freaking funny. But have self-control. And self-control, like I said, it's something that you work on. It's not something that you're going to be great at immediately. In the beginning, you're going to really struggle and it's going to be difficult to say no to yourself. But with time and with patience, you can exercise your self-control muscle. And that's exactly what it is. It's a muscle that you need to exercise. You won't be able to run 10 kilometers just straight up. But if you exercise and if you practice and if you start, getting into the habit of it, then it becomes much easier. I still don't like jogging though, to be real. But with all that said, doom scrolling. Doom scrolling is not a great thing. It's not a great habit. And that is exactly what it is. It's a habit. It's something that we do because we're used to doing it. And we as humans, like I said, it's a garbage in, garbage out thing. If you're going to put garbage into your system, you're going to feel like garbage. Sorry if this video has been a little bit more harsh or a little bit more in your face, but I feel really passionate about this thing. I feel really strongly about doom scrolling. I think it's really one of those things that have a bad impact on our psyche. And if I could get just one person not to doom scroll, or to at least doom scroll less, that'll be a win in my books. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Please have the most amazing day. Here's a little boop for you. Boop. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, do all those things. I'm not your mother. Do what you want. But thank you so much for spending your time with me. And have a fantastic day. Bye. Thanks for watching.